So you got something.
Okay, so again, we're recording this meeting, that way we can play it back later for other JROTC cadets that didn't get to join us today. They can still get the same content and learn more about our detachment. So with that, we will be going into the PT and Lead Lab panel, which is hosted by Cadet Captain A House, Cadet Major Smith, as well as myself. So we're going to get into that panel for you guys. Give us 1 second while we transition slides here.
All right, good afternoon, JROTC cadets. My name is Cadet Captain A House, and I'm joined by Cadet Major Smith and Cadet Second Lieutenant Cutts. Today we'll be going over PT and Lead Lab and what that'll look like for you as an ROTC cadet. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, so we will go through, we will introduce ourselves. We'll go over physical training and examples of those workouts. Then we will go into Lead Lab and what that looks like, and then lifestyle and opportunities. For myself, I am Cadet Todd A House. I am a junior from Grapevine, Texas. I'm a business management major. I enjoy hunting, working out, fishing, hiking, that kind of thing. If you have any questions about any of those activities and what that looks like as an ROTC cadet, feel free to ask me any questions.
Good afternoon, y'all. I am Cadet Major Smith. I'm a senior, an international business major. I live in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I am a CISO Select. I love all things about the ocean and about the sky. So if you guys have any questions or interested in the same things, or just let us know.
So again, I am Cadet Second Lieutenant Cutts. I'm a junior, business management and marketing double major. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio, but I'm down here in Arkansas now. Some things I enjoy, cooking, baking, and I love to play volleyball. That's one of my favorite sports. And again, if you guys have any questions at all about anything we covered today, feel free to ask.
Okay, next we'll be talking about physical training. So this is done normally twice a week, starting at 05:45 and going until 06:45. It normally consists of stretching for 10 to 15 minutes, and then the exercise of the day, and then followed by a cool down stretch and flight commander time. So as a cadet here, you will be broken up into flights, and you will be assigned a flight commander. That flight commander will then, during physical training, have time to debrief and talk about what went right and what went wrong. This is mainly to prepare you for the fitness assessment, which consists of a 1.5 mile run, a minute of push-ups, and a minute of sit-ups. So we do these physical training sessions in order to prepare you for that and get your score as high as possible. Next, we will look at an example workout. So this is taken from this semester. Now this semester is a little different because of COVID, so you will see a lack of running on these example workouts. Normally, we would do a lot of running in our physical training sessions, but unfortunately, due to limitations, that is not possible right now. So if you've seen this workout, we have a Tabata, which consists of 40 seconds of an exercise followed by 20 seconds of rest. You can see these exercises here. And we would do these for normally between 16 and 20 minutes for each of these workouts. So after that Tabata, we would go into a cardio AMRAP. AMRAP stands for as many reps as possible. So you would do these exercises for the allotted reps until time is called.
All right, y'all, I'm going to be speaking to you guys on Lead Lab and kind of what we do while at Lead Lab. Lead Lab stands for Leadership Laboratory, and it is conducted on Thursdays for all cadets from 15:30 to 17:30 at a specific location directed in the operation orders, which is essentially the plan that is spelled out, and we'll show you that here in a second. Lead Lab events, essentially, they allow cadets to practice the knowledge and skills they learn in their AS class and other practical military training events. And Lead Lab, it accomplishes training at 3 different levels. First, you have the GMC level, or the general military course level, where cadets gain knowledge and have an opportunity to carry out activities using just practical applications. And GMC are your 100s and your 200s, or your freshmen and your sophomores, generally. Second, Lead Lab gives POC, or professional officer course cadets, which are typically your juniors and your seniors like myself. It gives us an opportunity to practice our leadership skills, to plan, to set up, and to execute, all while providing feedback to you guys during Lead Lab. Lastly, cadre hop on here, and they provide feedback to us on our skills and our planning and our execution. And it is essentially just a way that we all can sharpen the things that we're working on for the big Air Force. Slide, please. Some things that we do in Lead Lab, we will practice reporting in and reporting out. We have drill instruction and drill practice. You'll see some briefings, and that ranges anywhere from customs and courtesies briefings to rank and grade. Also, we have some officers come in and speak on their AFSC or their careers. So we'll have pilots come in, we'll have JAG officers, which are your lawyers. We'll have air battle managers come in, RPA folks come in, and it's really, really enlightening. Then we'll also have lessons, and lessons are slightly different than briefings because they're more interactive. For example, we just had our US flag lesson, and cadets came and they demonstrated folding the flags and procedures when it comes to reveille and retreat. There are also group leadership problems, or GLPs, change of command, and then we have something fun called mentor time, which is where you get to know, you as GMC will get to know POC, things that we do, hobbies, majors, extracurriculars, you name it, and end up matching up with a POC as a mentor, and you'll be the mentee, and you'll get to just learn and grow together as you're here in the program. Slide, please. Here's a copy of the operation orders, or the ops orders. I won't have you guys go through all this because it's pretty detailed, but slide, please. I want to focus on specifically the execution. This is just what a typical day here at Det 30 could look like for GMC and POC. We would, if you look at the second column, at the activity column, we would assemble. Here, the location in the next column is Bomb Stadium. And while we are there, we'll have our announcements, our Air Force song, drill instruction, and then we move on to drill practice. Moving down along on the line, you have flight commander time, which is typically how we wrap up just about every Lead Lab, and that is when your flight commander will give feedback to you on just not just Lead Lab, but also things that were assigned throughout the week, and just on an individual level, but also on a group level, you as a team, as a flight, how you guys are doing, ways to improve, just some solid feedback there. And then the POC, the upperclassmen, as I mentioned before, will transit, and then we'll go to what we call POC hour, and then the cadre, and we'll talk about how things were planned and executed. Slide, please. Next, we'll be showing you a video of just what Lead Lab, a drill Lead Lab, as I mentioned before, would look like.
not an excuse. Central to flight.
Be better, Bravo Flight! How about your flight commander?
Flight expected to be like that from now on. That is the new standard. Is that understood? Yes, sir!
We're not a group of individuals! You're a flight!
So for the lifestyles slide, I want to talk to you guys just a little bit about what it means to be an ROTC cadet and what it means to be in the program. So it's important to know that being a cadet is more than just showing up to PT and lead lab. It's more than just doing your warrior knowledge and just making sure you check all the boxes. It's also about your life outside of ROTC. So your health, your physical health, your social, your mental, your spiritual health. So making sure that all of those areas in your personal life are in check and making sure that you're taking care of yourself in that way. And that's something we really hit on here at ROTC, especially at our detachment. We talk about the 4 pillars and how important that is. Additionally, for lifestyles, it's good to know that you have other options if you're looking at schools. When you get to that point in your JROTC career and when you're about to graduate high school and you're looking for a college, while Det 30 is based at the University of Arkansas, you do have other options. So you could attend NWAC, you could attend U of A Fort Smith, or even John Brown University, which is where myself and Cadet Major Smith attend school. So there's this thing called a crosstown agreement, which is where you are a cadet in the program at the University of Arkansas, but you attend school and potentially even live elsewhere. So like I said, for my case and Cadet Major Smith's case, we live at John Brown University and we also go to school there. So we commute here to the University of Arkansas for our ROTC functions, and then we still go back to our school. So again, like I said, just a good option to have, and you're welcome to write those schools down if you want to look into them further. Additionally, the video that we just played for the lead lab drill instruction, you can check that video out on our Det 30 ThunderHawg's YouTube page. I know maybe the quality was a little choppy or the audio was a little shaky, but if you'd like to rewatch that, by all means, we've posted it on YouTube for you. So make sure you take advantage of that if you like.
Next, I'm going to be going over the opportunities you have as an ROTC cadet. So first up is Honor Guard. So these are ceremonial events that we do for football games and basketball games where we present the colors, as you can see in this photo. It's a really cool opportunity to show your patriotism and to do something with the Air Force ROTC program that really showcases what we do. And we also do these along with the Army cadets at the university, excuse me. So this is a good opportunity to meet cadets from different branch of service. Next are MWRs. So those are fun activities that we do with cadets in the detachment that are more locked off. They're fun. They're meant to build camaraderie. We went to a haunted house last year. We've done some game nights. They're really fun. I would highly recommend going to those. And next we have Project Go and PDT events. These are a really cool. Project Go, that stands for Global Officer. So this is where the ROTC program will pay you to go to other countries to learn a language. So you can go to, I believe, like India, Indonesia, all sorts of exotic places. So that's a really cool opportunity. I would definitely take advantage of that. And then PDTs, that stands for Professional Development Training. Those events, there's one that I've gone on called Ops Air Force. That's where I went to Moody Air Force Base in Georgia for 2 weeks. We got to meet a lot of Air Force officers, talk to them about their careers, and got to see a lot of what the active duty Air Force looks like. Then you can also go on SOAR. That is where you go to the Air Force Academy to fly gliders, I believe. And then there's free fall. That's a cool opportunity. That is where you skydive at the Air Force Academy. And then you can even be sent to Army Air Assault School if you like. So that's a cool opportunity as well. All right, so in summary, we introduced ourselves, we went over physical training and lead lab, and then the lifestyle and opportunities you have as an ROTC cadet. These are our sources.
Alrighty, and with that, we're gonna transition into the ROTC requirements panel, which is hosted by Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lennox and her team. So just give us a second while she shares her slides, and then we'll get right into it.
All right, can everyone see this graphic okay? Perfect. Like Cadet Second Lieutenant Cutts, I am Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lennox, and today I'll be going over some ROTC requirements. So within this graphic, you can kind of see a layout of freshman to senior year. And within age groups for this, you don't necessarily have to be a traditional freshman coming in right after high school. You can come in after a gap year and things like that. So this is just a flow within your program necessarily. So this would be your academic freshman year, and you are just required to be in the program for 3 years, but we'll get more into the details of that. For your ROTC requirements mainly, one of the biggest things is that you are a student first. So you are coming into this program, and yes, you are an ROTC, you are an ROTC cadet, but you are a student first. You have to maintain your academics, you have to maintain your GPA, and you really have to focus on working both within becoming a cadet and work towards your career as a cadet, and also working towards your academics. Within the first 2 years, so your GMC year, as we mentioned, is your general military course, and that's your freshman and sophomore year. This is going to be modeled like you're enlisted. So these are your enlisted positions, similarly where you're being led by the POC cadets, which is a professional officer course, which is also modeled off of kind of an officer rank. So we do structure based off of an officer ranks. I don't know if you've noticed that we have second lieutenants up to colonels or lieutenant colonels. Within our cadet corps, you can see most of us have a different rank that are speaking to you. The main gap between what you can see here, which is in your red box, between the GMC and your POC year is field training. So field training is chaos by design. It is at Maxwell Air Force Base. It's 14 days of training where you go and you test all your leadership skills that you've learned throughout your GMC career. And once you pass that, graduate from that, you get your prop and wings, and then you move on to your professional officer course, your POC year, where you help lead the fellow GMC cadets for the next 2 years of ROTC. This is a great opportunity. It is, most people say it's fun in its own way, it's hard in its own way, but most people will say it's enjoyable and a great learning experience. So right now we'll focus specifically on your AS 100 year, which is your freshman year, your first year within the program. So at Lead Lab, your main roles within your GMC year as a whole is that this is a 1 hour class you'll take. So Lead Lab is 2 hours, like we had mentioned, and you'll take a 1 hour academic course as well, and that is usually given on Tuesdays or Thursdays, depending on the year. Right now, I'm pretty sure it's given on Thursdays. So this is 1 hour, and you sit in an academic classroom, and you learn you learn just basic lessons, basic teamwork and leadership lessons. And then your sophomore year, you're going to move on to more leadership and followership lessons that you would apply toward at field training. Within your AS 200 year, this is where things get a little bit more serious whenever you have to pass and get a GPA, a fitness assessment, and different scores like that. So I'll go into all those fine scores after. And then your POC year, The main difference between your GMC and your POC year is that you are now in a 3-hour academic class and a 3-hour lead lab. As we mentioned, it's 2 hours of training and 1 hour of debrief following that. To enter the program and maintain retention within the program your freshman year, one main thing that we focus on is your fitness assessment, your GPA, your ACT. So to enter the program, you need a 26 ACT. For scholarships, there's a different breakdown. So if you do have a scholarship, you need a 3.0 GPA, high school GPA to earn a scholarship, and a 2.5 to maintain it. If you do not have a scholarship coming in from high school, you need still a GPA to enter the program, but you need a 2.0 to maintain it within the program. To earn a scholarship within high school, you do need, or within college, it's kind of a different process, and we'll go into that. But mostly for the high school scholarships, there's one thing I recommend is going to the ROTC.com page. So just search that on Google. It's a horizontal banner, and there's information in the high school section. So I had just gone on that page earlier today. It is extremely helpful with GPA requirements, when to apply, deadlines, things like that, just in case I forget to touch on a specific detail. The deadline to apply for a high school scholarship, let's be clear, it's a high school scholarship, is 14 Jan of 2021. And so this would be for our seniors that are about to go into the program. So you only apply your senior year. The biggest advice that we can give you right now, talking to you at this moment, is to apply as early as possible, because you will go through as many rounds of the scholarship selection process as that are available. So it comes out every 2 weeks, and that way you get more, you're running through more boards, and we'll kind of use the term boards, but you have more opportunity to earn a scholarship. And again, you have to have a 26 ACT or SAT equivalent and a 3.0 unweighted GPA to earn the scholarship. However, if you do not earn a high school scholarship, many cadets come into this program, maybe they have decided late, or like I had personally done, I had decided late to even come to the University of Arkansas. And so I was shooting for an in-college scholarship, and we have multiple types of different scholarships that you can get within the program once you've already started. The requirements look a little bit different. Overall, they're still pretty similar. You still need to have a high GPA, so above a 3.0 GPA, but now they're going to look at your fitness score. You need to have a high fitness assessment score, you need to have a passing medical, which is your job norm, and we'll speak at medical. If you guys have any questions about medical, I'll touch on that. It gets a little bit more complicated, but there are multiple types of scholarships, and cross-town cadets can earn scholarships. So we have tuition scholarships that can cover part of your in-state or out-of-state tuition. We have one that can cover all of your in-state tuition, and we even have scholarships that are available for crosstown cadets. So you do not have to go to the U of A to earn a scholarship. However, I also would say that if you guys do have any questions, like I mentioned, look at the ROTC page. And then also within our detachment, Captain Smith is our recruitment officer. And if you look on our ROTC page, if you just search UARC Air Force ROTC, you will see his contact information if you are interested or would like to receive some more information. But next, I think I'm running out of time. Next, I will show you we will be going into some AFSCs. So can everyone see this document?
Hello, everyone. I am Cadet Lieutenant Cope, and I'm going to be telling you about what an AFSC is. It's also known as the Air Force Specialty Code. What that is that is your job. Once you get into the Air Force, that is how your job is classified. It's an alphanumeric code used to identify a specific job in the Air Force, and officers' AFSCs are usually 4 characters, while enlisteds are 5. And once you get to your junior, actually in between your junior and senior year, you will start trying to pick out what you want to do once you commission. There are 2 ways you can go. You can either go a rated or you can go non-rated. Rated is typically someone who has the flight status. So example, pilots or CISOs, and RPA is included on that. And then also there's non-rated, and under non-rated has also 2 categories. There's non-rated operational, which is missile and weather. And then there's also non-rated support, which is logistics and what you typically think of support. So if you scroll down, there's 166 jobs you can pick from. And you noticed a pilot right there. They all share the same numbers, and then the letters at the end differentiate the different jobs and the different pilots that you could be. But if you scroll down, there's 166 jobs. So if you're not sure what you want to do, you have time to figure that out. Because again, this is picked between your junior and senior year. There's something in there that you can do that you want, that will fit exactly for you. From medical to logistics to, if you like accounting, you could do finance as an officer. And then obviously pilot, weather, missiles. And so that is the Air Force AFSCs. And so this is something that you look forward to once you get to your junior year. And I'm going to pass it on to Cadet Captain Jones now. And she's going to explain a little bit about high school scholarships and some more requirements.
Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lennox, do you have those slides for me?
Yes, can you see them now? I apologize, Cadet Captain Jones.
Thank you. So I didn't use the standard Air Force slides that we typically use because I feel like this pertains to everybody. Even if you don't want to do ROTC in college, you still have to choose a major if you do plan on going to college. So how do you choose that? So slide please. So as Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lennox talked about, there's the HSSP scholarship. That is for high school students coming into college. There's those three types: full tuition, $18,000 per year, or in-state. And you also get a book allowance of $900 and a tax-free stipend of $300 as a freshman, and that only goes up as you become an upperclassman. And the deadline is 14 January 2021. So you have plenty of time, but if you are sure that this is what you want to do, I suggest applying right now. No harm, no foul. So next slide, please. So she also talked about the requirements, but just so you can see it on a slide, you have to have that 26 ACT, 3.0 GPA to start with, but then you have to maintain that 2.5. And then you also have to pass an FA, which they talked about. Cadet Captain A House, you have to do the 1 minute of push-ups, 1 minute sit-ups, and the 1.5 mile run. You have to get those and pass that. And then you have to maintain that standard throughout your college career. And then you also have to pass the DOMER, which stands for Department of Defense Medical Examination Review Board. And that is just basically a physical that you have to get done by a military doctor and to ensure that you can participate in ROTC. Slide, please. So if you are planning to be in ROTC, we do have technical majors, and being a technical major can help you get that scholarship, and it can help you get an EA, which is called an enrollment allocation, and that's basically a ticket into field training, as Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lennox talked about. And it's okay that if you don't like any of these majors, that's perfectly fine. I am personally a biology major, which is not a technical major, and I got an EA slot. So even if you aren't a technical major, that is okay, and you still have a chance. But if you do want to be one of these majors, that's great. You can have a lot of upper hand to the non-technical majors. Slide, please. And to choose a major, there is no right major. I can't, there's no blanket answer for everybody, and you can't just take a BuzzFeed quiz and it tell you you should be a biology major. What I suggest is that you reflect on your interests and what you want to do as a career, and then decide on what you should major on. If you are still unsure, because the U of A specifically offers over 200 degree programs, and that's just the U of A. So if you are looking into other colleges, there are so many degree programs that you can choose. There's so many paths, and there is no right answer. So only you can figure that out, but we do have advisors here at the U of A to help you along with that. And that link right there, if you guys want to write that down real quick, that has a list of all of our majors that we have if you want to go ahead and look into that now. And if you need that, you can contact us and ask for that link again if you don't have time to write it down on the slide, please. Maybe okay.
Captain Jones, I think that's all your slides.
That's what I kind of thought. Okay, then that is all from me. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to contact me.
Okay, now we'll be going into our debt tour video. If you guys have any questions or don't hear the audio, let me know.
Hey, I'm Cadet Major Davidson, and today I'm going to show you the cadre offices. So first there's Colonel Capps. He's our commander. He really runs the whole wing and helps us as a detachment grow and as leaders. And we have Major Hudson, who is our ops. He also does a lot of advising. We meet with him pretty regularly, especially when it comes to planning out our labs. And then there's Captain Smith as well, and he's our recruiting officer currently. And he's helping us find folks and just staying involved, keeping us on track. And all these guys and gals really help us just grow as leaders and continue our mission to be excellent cadets and grow into the Air Force that we're supposed to be in. So next, we'll show you the GMC lounge.
Hi everyone, my name is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lennox, and I am here to show you what the GMC lounge looks like. GMC is our General Military Corps, so that's our freshman and sophomore cadets within the program. As you can see, this room is very large. We have a bunch of couches to hang out and sit, relax, hang out with friends. We also have, if you look over here, probably the highlight of the room are these massage chairs that we purchased last year. They are great. We bought them with snack bar money, which is something that cadets can kind of look forward to, is using their money in ways that benefit the cadets. If we come to this far corner, you'll notice that we have a foosball table. It's another fun thing that cadets can do between classes or before training sessions. It's always loud, it's always fun. We have a ton of tournaments. As you can see, this room is large and great. There's a ton of seating and space for cadets to spread out, meet their fellow GMC cadets or even POC cadets. It's probably my favorite room in the detachment because of the way that it fosters camaraderie, and you can kind of relax in this room and get to know one another.
Hey, my name is Cadet Second Lieutenant Withers. This is the POC lounge. So the POC are where the juniors and seniors and super seniors hang out. It's a great place to do homework. We usually use this place to prepare right before lead lab. And yeah, thanks for coming on our debt tour.
Awesome. And thank you to Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lennox and her team for getting that presentation for us today. Next, we're going to move into the campus life panel. Again, it's important to note that that video is available on our Det 30 ThunderHawg's YouTube page. So if you want to rewatch that, or maybe if your audio was a little choppy, feel free to take advantage of that. But we will transfer it over to Cadet First Lieutenant Ruley.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Okay, good. Good afternoon. My name is Cadet First Lieutenant Ruley, as Cadet Second Lieutenant Kutz said. We are, myself and Cadet Colonel Mignon, who you'll meet in a moment, along with Cadet Major Hyder, are going to talk to you today about the many facets of campus life. So we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. And then we're actually going to start with a video, just kind of a University of Arkansas recruitment video that'll give you a good all-encompassing view of the University of Arkansas. Then we'll introduce ourselves. We'll go through all of these things, these extra facets about being a student at the university, including extracurriculars, the Honors College, the VAC, which is the Volunteer Action Committee, which is better defined later, some housing things, the distinction between what it is like to move from JROTC to ROTC, and then some additional resources and how things have changed in the midst of COVID. So I'll go ahead and take you over to our video. Okay, we'll go back over here. So I will say that that video was very specific to the Northwest Arkansas area and to the University of Arkansas. So please write down any questions that you might have for Cadet Major Smith and Cadet Second Lieutenant Kutz about going to JVU. And then if you have any questions about maybe the University of Arkansas Fort Smith as well, shoot those to us and we'll find someone who can answer those questions for you, because although our presentation today is going to be focused on campus life at the University of Arkansas, we do want to make sure that you realize that those options are open to you as well. The person speaking to you is Cadet First Lieutenant Ruley. This is a photo of me without a mask on with my brother, who is an active duty Air Force as well. I am an international studies major. I also studied Spanish for the last many years and am now learning Russian. So those are kind of my focus areas. I am a junior, so I still have a little bit of a ways to go before I earn those gold bars. I am from Fayetteville originally, so I'm very close to home. And I am the special projects officer at the detachment right now. So I help out with any extra special projects that we have going on.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cadet Major Hyder. I'm a physics major, which is something that I wasn't really pleased with initially, but I've come to love it. And I'm a senior from Cabot, Arkansas, so pretty close to some of y'all. I think we may have some Cabot people in here. And I am the Force Support Squadron Commander. So what that entails is it's a squadron that's responsible for all of our morale events, as well as all of our honor guards.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cadet Colonel Magnon. I'm currently studying International Studies, Middle East Studies, and then also French, so actually a triple major. And then I have completed a minor in Arabic. I'm a senior here, so I'm really close to the finish line. I'm from Springdale, Arkansas, and I am currently the Vice Wing Commander.
This is Cadet First Lieutenant Rui speaking to you again. I'll start with speaking on some extracurriculars. So I am actually a member of Greek Life here at the university as well. Our Greek Life system here at the University of Arkansas is very large. We have almost 50% of the student population participating in Greek Life. It is a coveted organization to be a part of, and it really fosters camaraderie with a lot of different kinds of students around the campus. It is something that is tough to balance with class and ROTC, so I will just say that I have to keep my priorities in line to be able to balance all three of them. I'm happy to answer any questions that any of you may have about balancing and how I kind of manage my time, especially as y'all are going into college, and that's probably something that everybody struggles with. The university is also very well versed in the clubs and registered student organizations, or RSOs, that are available to students to be a part of. So just to give you an idea, I wrote down a few clubs that, just to share with you, there are religious organizations that you can be a part of, Bible studies, for example. There are groups for any type of majors. I know that there are engineering RSOs, there are math RSOs. I have one for my major, international studies. We have even a Quidditch club. I think there's a squirrel watching club. There are all sorts of extracurricular organizations that you can be a part of. And if you actually manage to come up with an idea that does not exist already, if you and just a few other students get a professor to sponsor you, you can create your own RSO. So your opportunities really are limitless. You sign up for these on HawgSync, which is something that you gain access to when you are a student. So you'll learn more about that later, but that's the purpose of that graphic down at the bottom of this slide. The Honors College is something else that I personally am a part of. It is a stratification within your education program. So the Honors College is something that you can be in if you meet the requirements. And the purpose there is just to create a new challenge within your education and to add a little bulk to your resume as well. At the end of your college career, you go through a thesis writing process, and it's just a great opportunity to do research and to further your education prior to finishing your bachelor's degree. And lastly, we have the Volunteer Action Committee, which is, simply put, the organization that handles all of the community service for our campus. Their logo is down here at the bottom. This is something else that you'll gain access to when you're a student, but basically it's a site. You go on the Volunteer Action Committee's website, and you can find any variety of volunteer opportunities, service opportunities that you can take part in, and sign up for them if you have some free time and do your part to serve the community even outside of ROTC. Now Cadet Major Hyder will talk about housing.
So when it comes to housing, the two options are either on campus at the dorms or off campus. And during your first year, unless there's a special requirement going on, like how there's like COVID this semester, or if your family lives nearby, you'll be required to live on the dorms. And initially it seems like it's like kind of a downer having to share a room with someone, but I found it really convenient in my freshman year because whenever it came to food or anything, I didn't have to walk too far or anything, and I didn't have to worry about cooking or cleaning, which now that I'm off campus is something that I really wish I was more proficient in when I was still in high school, but something you just have to learn and adapt to. And then another advantage of the dorm is the living learning community at Pomfret Hall for ROTC. And what that is, it's like a section of rooms in Pomfret, one of the dorms, where it's only Air Force ROTC students. And while I wasn't in there personally, from all of my friends who have been in there, they said it was like a really great experience and it really helped them get to know people as well as like make sure they had some positive influences their freshman year. And the food options on campus, so there are 3 dining halls that are, my opinion is they're about the same in quality when it comes to food. And then there's also several restaurants on campus that you could meal trade with if you get a dining plan if you're on campus. And then let's talk about the differences between JROTC and ROTC. So I was in JROTC, and these are some of the things that that really surprised me when I came to campus my freshman year. So the time commitment, it's very different. So in high school, for me, it was every day I'd be at the JROTC building several hours a day if I had a leadership position, and as well as take the academic class daily. Here, that's not the same situation because you only go to your academic class once a week. And then after that, it's just the lab for 2 to 3 hours, depending on if you're an underclassman or an upperclassman. So instead of spending like around 10 hours a week, it's only like 5, which is a much needed improvement. And then the environment and culture is different. So in JROTC, it's a lot more casual compared to ROTC because the goal of ROTC primarily is to, if you're an underclassman, is to get you ready for your field training between your sophomore and junior year. And once you pass that, one of your main priorities will be to train the next generation to prepare themselves for field training and make sure that they do better than you did. And a primary reason for that is the different ending. So at the end of JROTC, you don't have any commitments or anything to any branch of the military. While here, all of us are training to be Air Force officers. So we're trying to make sure that everyone is prepared to be not just in the Air Force once they leave, but like a really good leader in the Air Force so that you're not serving alongside someone who wasn't properly trained or anything. And another big difference is rank progression. So I know in JROTC, you start off in like cadet enlisted and then just work your way up from cadet airman basic all the way up to cadet colonel. While the cadet officer ranks are the same ranks here, the structure is different for the underclassmen. For instead of having cadet enlisted ranks, all of the freshmen are just cadet 4th class, while all the sophomores are cadet 3rd class. And then when it comes to upperclassmen ranks, while our ranks are still the same, there's no like promotion-based structure. It's just solely dependent on what job you're assigned that semester by the cadet wing commander. And next slide, please.
Okay, so I will be talking about resources on campus and COVID. So here at the U of A, we have something called the Career Development Center, and there's a lot of great opportunities that come with that. So, well, right now during these COVID times, they host virtual job fairs, but otherwise, if things go back to normal or back then, they host in-person job fairs, and usually they do them based on certain subjects. So they have STEM job fairs or business ones. So they definitely have that to look forward to if you come here. They also help you get any internships if that's what you're looking for. And then they have something called the Career Track Razorbacks Coaching Program. And with this, you can sign up for that and they help you review cover letters or CV reviews. They help you search for jobs. You can learn certain tips that'll help you in the real world, like salary negotiation. And then they can also do mock interviews with you. So if you're applying to grad school or if there's a certain internship or job you have your eye on, you can have a mock interview with someone from that program. And then for the Center for Community Engagement, this is where the Volunteer Action Center comes into play. So with that, they're linked with Give Pulse, and then through there you can do a whole lot of things in the community. So I personally have done a lot with them. I have volunteered at a fashion show. I helped out little kids cook at a farm. I've helped after school kids just with their schoolwork. So there's a lot of different things that you can do based on what you're interested in. And it's something to look forward to if you come into the U of A. And then they also have the Center for Multicultural and Diversity Education. And then with this program, they have the Academic Enrichment Program. And then this is really nice too, because you can sign up for one-on-one coaching. And then it's kind of similar to the Career Development Center, but it's just a lot more one-on-one. So they will help you with academics and your development as a student and just your growth here. And then you'll meet, I think it's a couple times a semester just to check to make sure that you're on time to graduate with your major and everything that you'd like to do. And then to touch on COVID. So right now we're living in the new normal. And for a lot of people, they're not on campus or they have a blend of hybrid classes. So it's either in person and then mostly virtual. So for us in ROTC, a lot of us here, this is our only in-person class. So if you come ahead next year, if this is still going on, you'll probably have that to look forward to, which I'm sure is probably similar to what you're going through right now. So it'll just be blended. And then also here, we just really enforce social distancing, so 6 feet apart, and then use of masks. But for the most part, people still try to do different things. So they still have the dining rooms open, the dining halls open, and then they still meet for clubs, but they just do it all virtual.
All right, this is Cadet First Lieutenant Ruli speaking to you one more time. We were able to share that video with y'all, but everything that we shared with you today was specific to the University of Arkansas. So again, if you have any questions about the other campuses, please write them down and share with us. We will do our best to answer them. We were able to talk to y'all about different extracurricular activities, the honors program, what it's like to volunteer here, how our housing programs work, maybe the experience that you'll go through if you come into ROTC having already been a JROTC cadet, and then some different resources on campus that you can look forward to when you come here. Again, please write down your questions so that when we move into our question time, we can address any of them. And we will turn this back over to Cadet Second Lieutenant Cut.
Awesome. Great. Thank you guys so much, Cadet First Lieutenant Ruli and team, for getting that put together. So now we're going to transition into our question time. Any questions you guys have written down over the course of these 3 panels, or any questions you have in general about acceptance to the U of A, or whether it's about AFSCs that Cadet First Lieutenant Cope touched on, maybe requirements that Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lennox touched on for ROTC, anything academic-wise. We want to hear from you guys, so go ahead and just turn your mics on if you have a question. We'd love to take it.
Quick question: you need to take the ACT or the SAT?
Was your question whether we can take the ACT or the SAT, correct?
No, that's a requirement to get into the college.
Yes, correct. Yep, I don't know if Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lennox wants to speak on that at all, but it is a requirement, I think, universally for any university you want to send to, the ACT, and I think some accept the SAT. I know for me, I just personally took the ACT, but I don't know if Lieutenant Colonel Lennox wants to chime in.
Yes. Is your question specifically if we use the ACT?
Do what?
If we use your ACT score, is that what your question is?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we do, for both acceptance into the program and for scholarships. So that is you need a 26 ACT or SAT equivalent. So if you are able to take or do take the SAT and not the ACT, we will take that as well. For scholarships specifically, once you are already in the program, they will no longer use your ACT score. They will use your cum GPA. So that means you can only earn a scholarship usually your 2nd year within the program if you don't come in with a high school scholarship. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Great, thank you. Any more questions? Anything about Greek life? Anything about crosstown agreements? Anything else you guys got for us? We're here as a resource for you, so feel free to pipe up and ask a question if you have one.
Okay, cool. I was going to ask on the AFROTC website or anywhere else if there was any more information on the requirements for the fitness exam.
Yes, there are. Specifically, it's broken down into male and female within your age group. I'm almost positive we fit under the under 25 age group or under 35 age group. Someone can correct me. But all that information is online and specifically within the Air Force ROTC pages.
just to add to that, so if you're are you wondering about like the FA test? Because for that, we require a 1.5 mile run, and then you have to do a certain amount of push-ups under a minute or in a minute, and then a certain amount of sit-ups in a minute. And that's what the fitness assessment encompasses, if that's what you're wondering.
Great. Any more questions? Again, we're here for you guys. So anything you have concerns with, like I said, acceptance, anything on that area, just let us know. We've got a couple more minutes for questions. So if you've got anything, let us know.
I know we went through a lot of information really fast, so maybe you're still processing some information as well. So feel free, if you think of a question later, go ahead and direct it through your JROTC cadre to Cadet Second Lieutenant Cutts, and we will get you whatever answer you need on if you think of something later.
I have one more question. Sorry.
Fine, go for it.
Is there a list online for the AFSCs?
Yes, that list is available online. I don't know if Cadet Second Lieutenant Cope wants to pipe in where he got that from, but I'm sure you could just type that into Google and find the most current version. Again, things get updated, so just when you're looking for one, make sure it's the latest released version of that.
Airforce.com has a list of all of these AFSCs, and they actually go in depth on what exactly it all entails.
Excellent.
There are also some videos explaining some of the jobs, because there's jobs out there like combat systems officer stuff and just wordings that you probably don't understand. There's videos along with all of that on the Air Force website that you can listen to people who are actually in that career field and have them tell you straight from the word of mouth what they do and all that.
Excellent, thank you. And with that, we're gonna start wrapping up. Again, make sure you guys follow. Oh yes, certainly. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have one more addition. Just based off of your ACT. So the ACT is for your scholarship, not to enter the program. Does that make sense? So there is no scholarship or ACT requirement to enter the program if you do not have a scholarship. So if you're just coming in and want to test things out, test out the waters, you don't have one. Our commander right now is suggesting a 23, but it is at his discretion to let you into the program. Does that clear that up? So 26 is only for a high school scholarship.
Great, thank you for that. And like I said, we're gonna start wrapping up the Project ThunderHawg for the day. Again, make sure you follow us on all of our social media. So the Instagram, the Det 30 Instagram page, as well as the YouTube page, which is just the Det 30 ThunderHawgs. We've posted content on there for you guys to view. Again, the 2 videos that were played today are on that website, as well as just some other information you might find useful. And again, if you guys have any questions related to the stuff we talked about today, anything else related to ROTC, acceptance, campus life, anything on that score, as well as other universities you want to learn about with the Crosstown Agreement, please send those up to your JROTC cadre, and they will pass them over to us, and we will get them answered to the best of your ability, or give you a resource for someone who's maybe a little more versed in that area, and they can answer that for you. But with that, that's all we have for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us, and hopefully it was beneficial for you. You learned some things about particularly our detachment and how that works, as well as maybe a little bit about the university and other school options that you have. So with that, that's all we have, and you guys are free to go. So thank you so much for being with us today.